Hi, Professor Sistrunk. This is Malik Ray. Here is my homework. I apologize for the late submission. I've been on tour with the Glee Club since Thursday, and I have the excuse form for you. But I'm going to get started here, and I'm going to first make the pie chart with the election results. So here's one pie chart. We can drag this out to make it a little larger. If we want to go in, we can format the chart. We can change the color of the lines, we can change the font. Okay, so if we wanted to change the color to okay, let's do green. Let's see, everything on this side of the screen just turned green. We can lock the text, we can unlock the text. And as you can see, every time we're moving in the properties menu, it is impacting the chart directly. So here's my pie chart. I'm going to go on to the home prices. This was just a lot of data, so and it really slowed my computer down to try to compute all of it. So I'm going to go and delete a really big chunk of it and deal with a set of about 300 or so, as we discussed in class, to really make this a lot easier for me and my computer. Okay, yeah, this is a lot of data. Alright, I'm going to pause it and then come back with the data. Alright, so here I am again. I'm just gonna go in and highlight the data set. I'm gonna do it with 300. Okay, that's not working. I'm gonna do it with just about 300 columns as soon as I can properly highlight. Alright, let's start over. Okay, so 315. And then we set a bar graph, so I'm going to do the column because I'm assuming the column and bar graph are the same thing. And this is what it comes up with. So knowing how to, operate and flow through the chart, just going to blow this up kind of big. And this is just a lot. So I want to go in and I'm going to move this up some. And then I'm going to hide a few of the things on the chart so that we are really just viewing the parts of the data that are important to us. Alright, so I'm going to take the street, and I'm going to hide that. I'm going to take the street number, and I'm going to hide that. Because these are, again, things that just aren't as germane to the graph itself. Where did the graph go? Here's the graph. That's when you know you're old. Keep moving this out so that it can be closer to us. Okay, So it's still a lot going on. So I think the final thing that I'm going to do is take away this city, because we don't need each thing to have a city. Alright, now that freed up a lot of space on the chart to make it a bit more legible. And then we can really keep playing with them here. So we take away the street types. That's going to narrow it down even more. So now there's absolutely nothing on the x-axis. So this is our bar graph. Excuse me. Okay, this isn't supposed to happen. Okay, so this is our bar graph. Pretty. Okay, so we keep toggling and stuff. We take away the month. Oh, that must have been the year. I think that's a typo. So we take away the months, and then we're left with the amount or the price and the year. We keep taking away. This is the day, I believe. See, the more we take away, the simpler it gets. And now we're just left with zip code and sales price. It looks a little cluttered because of the area that it was drawn in, but the more you stretch it out, the better of a chance you can see all of the bars. So moving right along, here we have the stock price information, and we're going to make a line graph as requested. So we highlighted that, and clicked on the line graph button, and here's our graph. Now let's go in and see what we can do as far as playing with the graph. So as we hover over the areas of the graph, it tells us which part of the graph we're operating in. So here's the X value grid lines, here's the chart title, here's the vertical value, and when you hover over it, you can do things. Once my computer stops acting slow, you can do things like change the title. You do things like that. You can go in and you can format the grid lines. Let's say we didn't want the grid lines, so now the chart just looks like this. Go in and we can format the axes. We can change the angle of everything, the way that the numbers are presented on the graph. So if we want them to be slanted versus wanting them to be straight, if we want them to be middle centered, or if we want them to be simply in the middle, or if we want them to be on the bottom. These are all things that we are in control of. Excuse me. Let's go back in and do some more settings kinds of things. Let's format text this time. Maybe that's a little more eye-catching for the x-axis. Then we can go in and we can even change the way that the actual line of the line graph looks. Let's say we put a little green outline around it. We can change the transparency of that. We can change the error bars or what they look like. Drop the lines down to draw more connecting for the eye. It's more connecting to get to the matching dates. We can do high-low lines, up and down bars. So let's go ahead and do the drop lines. So this is still a line graph, but we now have points going to the corresponding dates to give us a direct correlation to what data set it is applying to. So these are the 3 graphs that I've done for my homework. I hope that I've done them correctly, and I hope that you've enjoyed. Have a great day.